Lenti Ponsetto was a trailblazer because she was a four-sport athlete. She was an assistant women's basketball coach and had to work 4 jobs in the department to be able to be a women's basketball coach.
She always does the right thing. You know, she never takes the shortcut. She does what's best for the sport, best for the program, and she always has that long-term vision in mind.
The passion that she brings to women's athletics and women's sports, in my opinion, is very much similar to the sort of passion and determination that she brought to when she was an athlete here. I mean, she was very tough. She always worked hard. She was very serious about what she was doing, and you see that in the passion that she has for what we do here.
Jeannie has helped evolve the program through the years by giving us so much more in regards to personnel, dollars, scholarships, facilities. We were a program where it was a part-time coach. I was all by myself, and we would take Coach Bruno's van on road trips. That was our big vehicle that we would take, and our trip south was to Southern Illinois University, and we played our games at Oscar Mayer Field, and we had 1 or 2 bets if we were lucky, and everybody barely had their own equipment. And today now we have a fully funded staff, we have a fully funded scholarship program. We play in beautiful Cacciatore Stadium. We're sponsored by Wilson D. Marini and Nike, and we have everything we could ever want or hope or dream for or wish for, and we've just really grown, and all that's really been because of Jeannie's efforts.
She's always had her thumbprint on what's happened here with women's athletics, just because she's been here since the initial rollout of Title IX got her here to this school.
She's the best captain I've ever coached. She helped the program earn their first scholarships in the 70s. In the 80s, she led the program to the NIT Championship. In the 90s, NCAA tournament 7 times. And since 2000, she has helped this program be the best in the country academically and athletically. As an administrator, she has fought for the growth of women's athletics here at DePaul University.
I remember she was coaching women's basketball and she was part-time, and the point came, when I first got to DePaul, I was going through some file papers and picked up this old memo that Jeannie had typed. It was like a 15-page memo to the current athletic director justifying the reason why women's basketball should have a full-time assistant coach instead of a part-time assistant coach, which was her position at the time. And she wrote down, just everything she did, running practices, going out recruiting, everything, taking care of the kids, just through the course of the year, every hour she could add up and be accountable for what she did as assistant basketball coach. And then she divided all the hours by her salary, and I just remember the comment on the last page was, well, I don't know many people in America that will work for 50 cents an hour, but that's pretty much what it adds up to here.
Her leadership certainly provides us with the focus that we need to keep going. I mean, men's sports have been in the spotlight for hundreds of years, and it hasn't really been the case with women's sports, and I think that's different here. I certainly think that it's pretty balanced, it's pretty equal.
Women's sports at DePaul, where we were just a handful of people in a handful of sports 30 years ago, now we're one of the top Division I programs in the country.
Jeannie has contributed to the growth of women's sports as an administrator by chairing the NCAA Women's Basketball Committee, by chairing the NCAA Championships Cabinet, and being the first woman ever to chair the Championships Cabinet. She's opened the door for women in intercollegiate sports. Today she is one of the best athletic directors in the country, not just one of the best female athletic directors, of which there are so too few, but she's also one of the best athletic directors in the country.
At the time, she was part of the group that was instrumental in bringing the ESPN television contract to women's basketball. She was on the committee when that happened, and then later became chair of that committee. Also was very influential in assisting with the CBS contracts for men's basketball as well, and women's basketball at the time.
The passion that she has to motivate you to get going, get moving, be successful, I mean, that's a big deal.
I've been very fortunate to see Jeannie's growth from the very beginning. Obviously, she was a tremendous student athlete at DePaul, but then she was Coach Ray Meyer's administrative assistant, and then she was an assistant women's basketball coach. And from there, she moved on to become the assistant athletic director, associate athletic director, and now the athletic director at DePaul University.
When an athlete gets on campus and they're walking down the hall and Jeannie says hello, I mean, and actually says their name, that to me shows, and that's not just that she has a great memory. It really has to do with, she's passionate about making sure these people know that she cares. That's why I would say she's a trailblazer, because she comes to the table with passion every day.
Jeannie is a trailblazer because she has turned dreams into realities for so many student athletes and coaches.